All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Straight Talk. Tonight, we're going to really focus on what is really going on in the world, right? And I truly believe that we have turned the corner on evil. And if you have ever seen all of my videos, you can check them out on YouTube, WMB of Lies and Deceit, on Rumble, the WMB Show, and on X under my name, Isaiah Israel 1-5, and following. But listen, tonight is going to be somewhat a little bit uncomfortable because I've been banned upstairs in our bedroom because my wife is having her little uh, girl parties, I guess, or whatever they do with women. So I'm here in the bedroom, and it's okay. I'm gonna make it through. We're gonna be all right. But the idea is that I've been banned. Yeah, what can I do about that? You know what I mean? She's my wife. I got my family. But I get this is this is my I don't want to say my life. You know what I mean? My kids are my life. But this is what I like to do. I love the podcast, and I like bringing my uh, thought to the forefront and the platform, and hopefully, people will get it. I mean, I'm not here to try to change people's thoughts. I'm not here to try to convince you of anything. I am only putting the facts on the table. And I believe strongly and wholeheartedly facts are facts. The fact that I'm a man with a beard, and, I'm telling you, I'm living here in the Dominican Republic as a Dominican American. You're going to have to take it for what it is. I mean, facts are facts. You cannot argue with what I'm trying to say or disprove it. So, not unless you're Michelle Obama. that, that's a whole other thing. You know what I mean? But we'll get into that later. But tonight, I really want to focus in on what the hell is going on in the Middle East, in America, and around the world, and what the end result will be. So, tonight, um, I made a deliberate attempt and looking at the old Palestine and Jerusalem. And you're going to see tonight, there were nothing but black people, melanated people. And to make that connection between the Ishmaelites and the Semites, you can't distinguish it. We've been intermingling for thousands of years. How the fuck you going to make a distinction between an Ishmaelite and a Semite? You just can't. So one is the same as the other. Now, the pale skins, and we're going to get into that tonight, really disgusting at what they're doing. And I am very upset to what some of our sisters are doing over there in Dubai. You're going to hear that, see that tonight. And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck. I wish that bitch would just die already. I mean, it's just utterly disgusting after what the pale skin Arabs are doing to our sisters, and they don't have to go over there for some money that they think they need. I can understand you can have a hard life wherever you may be, but having people shit on you literally and telling you you gotta eat it in order to get $14,000, or which and her money would be 21 million naira. I think that's in Nigeria or something. I don't know. But you're gonna hear about that tonight, and it's just utterly disgusting how we, in general, don't hold up the image of our ancestors, the very people who created civilizations all across the globe, every last one of them. White people have not created not one world religion, not one civilization. And somehow, some way, this is being blocked, and this is being kept from the minds and hearts of our people. But all you got to do is just pick up a book and start reading. Or if you don't like to read, Go to a YouTube video. The billions upon billions of truthful, factual, historical evidences pointing to who we are and what we've done. But one day I truly believe we're gonna wake up. It's gonna be hellfire. Only pale skin wherever you are. It's over for you guys. But tonight, let me go on and do my intro because I get it. You know what I mean? I do it, but for some reason I've been forgetting about it. But tonight I'm gonna put it in, get it in, and here we go. I'll be right back. Oh my God! You know what? I had it on mute for, let me see what this is, 6 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat it, making sure that you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But tonight we're going to be covering what is going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Dubai, and how our sisters just been selling themselves out for nothing, with no self-esteem, no nothing, and it's just utterly disgusting to what the Palestinian Arabs are doing to our sisters. But then again, no one can do anything to you unless you allow them to do it. Ain't no amount of money worth your self esteem and getting $14,000 for people to shit on you. No, no. But I really want to apologize for having it on mute. I guess I didn't check it and making sure it wasn't off. But hopefully, you were able to hear me, but I doubt it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to recover what I was saying before. So tonight we're going to be covering what is really going on in this world, in the Middle East and America, and where white people are at. They're literally at nowhere. It's over for them. It's been over. And as I have said on my YouTube channel and all of my videos and Rumble, you can go there and check them out. That evil will always have its day and night, but evil and those who partake in it will always destroy themselves. Always, ALWAYS, and always, ALLWAYS. And I find it to be amusing to the point where, white people don't even see their own destruction. I mean, the Bible, not to get into a Bible moment, but it's true. Pride comes before the fall. And these people, because of the juice that they took 2 years ago, white men have been chemically castrated. Now, long ago, I made a point on Brother Maurice's show that, hey, white people are not being born as rapidly as, more so than, is that how it goes? Right, more so than they're dying. There are more white people dying than are being born. And at that point, their birth rate was like 0.09. To maintain your birth population, right, or your population by birth, you got to have 2.0 or higher. Mexicans, 7 to 1. Black people, 50 to 1. White people, not even barely 1. And now, since they've been taking that juice and probably are still taking it, they're not even human anymore. They weren't human to begin with. But, with the not physical castration, but the chemical castration has pushed their birth rate down to around 0.03. And on my previous videos, I've seen, melanated people throughout Europe saying, we're having baby after baby after baby after baby after baby. You guys are not having any. Sooner than later, we're going to take this motherfucker out and take it over and beat the shit out you. Politically beat the shit out you. Economically beat the shit out you. And spiritually beat the shit out you. White folk are converting to Islam like 90 going north. Not by the dozen, not by the hundred, not by the thousands, but by the tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands. I'm dare to even say that it's like hundreds of thousands every day doing their shahada, you know. And to be honest, like I was saying, their time is up. It's over and done with. There's no if, ands, or buts about that is happening right now in my mind. So what we're gonna do? Hold on, let me see if this is okay. I don't know what that is. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to share screen. And please hold on. We're gonna get right to the nitty gritty of of this tonight, and I really want you to understand and to feel what the evidence is that I'm gonna be presenting. Um, what it's all about. It's undeniable. Okay. So the first one gonna go to my X account. You might be able to see my name. Yeah, you'll be able to see. You can see it. X.com Isaiah Israel 15. And yeah, well, anyway, you see it right here. But this one deals with a book that was written. I don't know which one it is, but it's basically dealing with the immortal words of Gamal Nasser. And it goes on to say, when Jewish settlers arrived in Northeast Africa, which is the Middle East, which is what we call the Middle East now, and Northeast Africa from Nazi Germany and elsewhere, Gamal Abdel an-Nasser had a premonition that they would be as ruthless as their former oppressors. He told the Zionists in speeches and on Egyptian television, "You will never, ever be able to live here in peace because you left here black and you have returned white. We cannot accept you." And I said, Nasser also referred to the Zionists as the imposter. A Jewish woman read the statement and declared Nasser an anti-Semite. Now I'm going to close this one out, and hopefully my buddy he'll be here tonight. He normally here, but I'm going to close that one out too. Hopefully we can get that. He can come on down and come on in. Well, let me see if he does not. No, he's not. So what we're going to do, and what he just heard, is that this white woman talking about Gamal Nasser, who was the ex-president of Egypt during the 40s and 50s, if I'm not mistaken, um, was an anti-Semite. Now, you know that the Palestinians are Semitic, and that the true Arabs were always dark-skinned Arabs and brown-skinned, dark-skinned Arabs. To be a real Arab, now, do you want to be fake white-looking people who they actually believe they are white? They have no connection to that land. That, like I said before, the Ishmaelites and the Semitic people, who have always been melanated people, were intermixing, interbreeding, having babies, having families for thousands of years. So you cannot distinguish them anymore. And this is what I mean. This is a video going back to 1925. I'll be right back. So there you have it. I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, you've already seeing the lies and the deceit that's coming out of the mouth of um, so-called white people who are really our children, because everybody comes from the black woman, and the black man is the father of all civilization. That's true, and the woman all civilization. That's true, but the parent of all humanity, that role um, is taken up by the black man and the black woman. We are the parents of all humanity. That's a fact. I'm only here not to espouse my feelings, my emotions. I give no fucks about my feelings and my emotions. I give no fucks about your feelings and your emotions. I'm here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right. So, hold on. I'm gonna make sure that okay. So the microphone is on. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to this lying motherfucking piece of shit, Charlie Kirk, because I tried to be on his show, to get him on my show, to talk about this wannabe I'm white and we don't commit crime. Motherfucker. There's not one Tasmanian baby, man, woman, old people, nothing on the planet. They killed them all. Not only that, they nuclear bomb not once, not twice, not 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 times, 64 fucking times in the Atlantic Ocean, somewhere close to where black people used to live, because they don't live there anymore. Their diet was based off of the ocean. They can't do that anymore, so they were forced out of that area, somewhere around the Marshall Islands, because it was too radiated. 63, 64 times they bombed that motherfucker. So what we are dealing with are psychopaths and sociopaths. They actually believe, they actually believe that they are white, Caucasian, Aryan, Anglo-Saxon, European. They're nothing but a bunch of fucking flies that like to land on shit, and their children are maggots. They eat shit, sleep shit, having sex and shit, literally. You can go and Google that or YouTube. No, I think it might be on YouTube. I don't know. Or Google it. White people having sex in their own shit in two or more. I'm telling you. Now they're having sex with what uh sex dolls wanting to have a baby with them. All kind of animals and brothels throughout Europe. So don't take my word for it. Please, please, please check all of these facts out. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go right to my man here, Shahid Bolson. I love this guy. He's really putting it on and letting this motherfucker know that hey, all you doing are just skewing the information and the evidence. It's a 4-minute video or a 5-minute video, and I'll be right back.
Blacks commit more crimes than whites do. Okay, well, first of all, what he means by blacks commit more crimes is, in fact, that African Americans are more often convicted of committing crimes in the United States than any other racial demographic, which is very different from what he said. All that indicates is that the so-called criminal justice system in the United States is primarily only effective in the selective investigation, prosecution, and conviction of African Americans and other so-called minorities, as opposed to investigating, prosecuting, and convicting white perpetrators. The statistics that he's citing are actually an evidence arguing racial bias in policing, in prosecution, and in trials. It's not an evidence of greater criminality along racial demographic lines, no. Rather, it's only the assignment of criminality that falls along racial lines. I mean, more than half of all violent crimes in the United States go unsolved, overwhelmingly the case in certain types of violent crimes. So we're not talking actually about a criminal justice system that works, that's actually effective, that's actually efficient, that actually does its job. What we have is a criminal justice system that disproportionately seems to only quote unquote work when the perpetrators are not white. African American victims of homicide, by the way, make up most of the victims of homicide cases that go unsolved. Whereas most homicide cases in which the victim is white, those get solved. In other words, crimes against white people are more likely to get solved than crimes against African American people or any other so-called minority group, member of the global majority. And they're even more likely to get solved when the perpetrator of the crime happens to be African American. So, in other words, if you're a white victim, you're more likely to get justice. And if you're a white perpetrator, you're more likely to escape justice. That's the system. And that's all that is evidenced by what he's saying. So when you look at the number of unsolved crimes, it's not unreasonable to assume that the, say, 60% or so of violent crimes in America that never get solved, that those are very possibly crimes committed by white people against African American people or against other so-called minority groups. So rather than saying blacks commit more crimes than anyone else in America, it would be more honest to say that no one who commits a crime in America is more likely to be punished for that crime than an African American. And in fact, it's also more likely for an African American person to be wrongfully convicted of a crime of which they are accused. And it's more likely for them to even be punished for that, even when they have been proven innocent. And you can.
Now, you just said, 'cause it just came up on my mind, Marcellus Jackson, I believe, he was just executed for a crime that he did not commit, and that the prosecution was telling the judge, don't kill him because we have evidence that he's innocent. I'll continue.
Look at the case right now of Marcellus Williams. So the statistics that he's citing actually only substantiate the belief that the so-called criminal justice system in the United States is a major component of what you can call a systematic domestic ethnic cleansing program in America, being carried out against African Americans and other members of the global majority. That's all that is evidenced by the statistics that he's citing. And this, in fact, demonstrates a vastly greater degree of criminality than anything that he mentioned. And I would go further to say that the speaker himself, with the statistics that he's mentioning and the interpretation that he's putting on those statistics, that he himself occupies a propaganda role in that ethnic cleansing system, for which, in my opinion, he could and should be prosecuted under international law. So I really would hope that people would take this more seriously and understand the gravity of what so-called minority groups, members of the global majority, what they are facing and what they are enduring, and the human rights violations that are committed against them in the United States, that you would take that more seriously, so that when you see someone who is clearly playing a propaganda role in support of what, again, does constitute an ethnic cleansing program in America, when you see someone who is occupying a role of propaganda in support of that system, normalizing that system, justifying that system, rationalizing that system, understand that this person is a criminal. And inshallah, one day they will face justice for that, and should not be regarded simply as someone who is airing offensive or controversial views. No, you should take this more seriously, and not simply use it as an opportunity to have a debate with someone like this. They shouldn't be debated, they should be prosecuted.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there you go. There you go. Hold on. There you go. So they should be prosecuted on a global scale, an international court, criminal court, and prosecuted, found guilty, and put in jail. So what we're gonna do, excuse me for moving this thing up and down if it's not really stable. I think I ain't on my stomach. I don't have a. Just in case I should have. Hold on. Just in case I should have a little stand or something. I had made a makeshift stand. But anyway, this is where we are. Either we're gonna whine, moan, and cry like women, or we're gonna fight like men. There's an old refrain here in the Dominican Republic, and it goes like this. Uh, hold on. Oh shit. I'm trying to remember now. Si no estamos peleando por el suelo donde vivimos, no podamos llamarnos dominicanos. It means if we're not fighting for where we are at, where we live at, how in the fuck are we going to call ourselves American? Are we going to call ourselves Dominican? Are we going to call ourselves African? Are we going to call ourselves wherever black folks are? Because Europe belonged to us. The true Europeans were black people. So when are we going to start to fight politically, economically, spiritually, and if necessary, physically? Because I can honestly tell you right now that if we don't, as is happening in Northeast Africa or the Middle East, these white motherfuckers are going to kill you. If you don't see that by now, what other evidence, empirical or not, do you need to see it? They're not playing. They just got us, or at least some of us, and our perhaps most important celebrities that took the Jews, Aaron, Sister Tyson, you name it. When, my brothers and sisters, when are we going to fight? They're killing us in the air. They're killing us in the food. They're killing us in the water. They're killing us all kinds of ways, you guys. Wake the fuck up. Fight, fight, fight. Because if we don't, how are we going to ever call ourselves American, Dominican, or whatever else? Espérate, déjame ponerse en el microondas. Voy a comerla más tarde. So my wife brought me some food, so there you go. But anyway, we can't. We gotta fight, you guys. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts. Fuck it. Fuck these motherfuckers. They don't give a damn about themselves. They mama, they kill their mama just to keep control and power. White people don't know how to run a fucking government. They don't. George Washington was the first president of the United States. Do you know he was black? Big dummy. They fucking playing with you. They're like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. Pull the motherfucking curtain, you're gonna see a bitch ass little man there. All you gotta do is just slap the shit out of him. That's it. Bitch slap the shit out these motherfuckers. They're playing. And once you do that, they back the fuck up. We're not asking for our crowns back. We're not asking for our money back. We're not asking for our land back. We're taking the motherfucker. Politically, because it's necessary to how you say it, to enact policies, laws, and regulations that really restrict these white motherfuckers. Economically dominate them, putting them in the fucking poorhouse. Spiritually dominate them, and when it's necessary to put down the Torah, the Quran, or the Christian Bible, you beat the shit out of them, fucking kill them if necessary, and pick up the Torah, the Quran, and or the Christian Bible again. Because these people don't give a fuck. These wannabe white Jews and in the Middle East don't give a fuck about the Torah. They don't give a fuck about the Tikkun Olam, healing of the world. They don't give a fuck. The only thing they want to do is control and dominate economically and politically. That's it. They have no soul. They have no shame. They have nothing. Martin Luther King said it best. These people have no morals and they have no conscience. Why? Let me put it like this. Black people are the most productive people on the face of the planet. It's like we're bees maintaining our hive with our queen, and producing honey for the greater good of everybody. We pollinate plants and bring about fruits and other things, right? Very productive, very positive, you know. And we're facing with an enemy like a hornet or something. We come together and we kill it, or the bees come together and kill it. That's what we need to do. We need to come together and kill our enemy. Now, take that and look at what white folks are. They're fucking flies. What do What do what do flies like? Shit. They like to land on shit, eat shit, because that's all they know. That's all they know. That's all they know. And for a bee to try to explain to a fucking shit eating fly that honey is better than shit, you're wasting your fucking time. It's just better to kill him. Cause I swear to God, they'll kill you. Netanyahu don't give a fuck. Newsom in California don't give a fuck about you niggas in California. He just vetoed the reparation thing. Even though the Black Caucus can override that, even these cooning ass niggas in the Black Caucus in California, they're not for you. Our worst enemy is just looking just like you. Just because Newsom vetoed that motherfucker don't mean it can't get passed. We just have to come together on the Senate side and the Congress side, I think, right? In the state of California, and override the veto and pass it. But you got niggas that don't want to see with shit. As long as they getting their shit, they cooning their asses off. Period. Cooning. And that's on the state level and the national level. All right. So where are we at? Let me go to this black woman who was in Dubai, and it's an 18-minute video. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna break it down to 10 and then 8, and I will be right back.
And here I came across this. It says, I went to Dubai and ate poop for $20 million. Now I'm losing my life and need help desperately. And so I'm sitting here and I came across this. It says, I went to Dubai and ate poop for $20 million. Now I'm losing my life and need help desperately. Now, for you guys that are wondering, like I did, what is $20 million in US dollars? That's approximately 14,225 US dollars. Now, because some type of disease, illness, bacteria has been contracted from this situation, this young lady, unfortunately, is looking at potentially going to meet Jesus here pretty soon because of it. Here's what I'm going to say about this. This has been going on for a long time. A lot of you guys' favorite influencers allegedly have gone over there and done it. This is a big thing that's happening. Why it's hot, I don't know. How someone could do it, I don't know. But it is happening. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're going through a situation in life where you desperately need money and you're struggling, find another way. Because this way puts your health at risk. And I guarantee you, psychologically, you will never, ever live this down. This is a bad look all around. This is a poopy situation, some would say.
Hey guys, how is it really happened in Dubai Porta Potty Confession Part 1 half?
We just going to, let's go to Dubai and have fun and all that. And I know man, you could do more $10,000 and all this. You come on their party, big men will come their party, now you go party. But just the truth behind it. $10,000 now, a year for a starter. Maybe you're even getting $50,000, trust me. This is not like mid-year. I know. I joined them. They joined in, so I know what I'm saying. So they will give you $10,000. So they will give you $10,000 before you even leave Ghana. They will give you $10,000. Partner, they want you to look classy and all that, and to buy something for us. Oh, my man, and I send it from now. Your power belly and Kina down to them and all that. They will not tell you the truth. When you go to Dubai, you could do Dubai, yeah. And some of the culture say, Madumani can show a you may be saying, instead of a big deal, sometimes when you come my better, and I say big men, no, when a lot of them, like if you're near bed 20, 10 of them will fuck you at a time. Not also like it's a sex party. Not also a lot of girls, not also we are putting ourselves from here, from here, from here. So the money you got from is like 10% or let's say 20% of what you are coming to get. That's what I said. This is what you are going to do. So this is what you have to wear. And then when you get to the party, they will take your phone. You are not allowed to use your phone at the party. They will take your phone because you are not allowed to take pictures. But the big men, the supposed big men you are going to meet, they will be taking pictures. So when they told me that, yes, so it's a sex party, the men, the big men, all of like, if you the person will not have a sex party, they'll have sex with you. And then some of them later on, a pair of Baba and Sister say, the side chick, with the time you'll be your best friend or not. They will tell you this bullshit to after you go into the bank. Then,
hello guys, welcome back to the channel. These are one of the hardest videos that I have to do, but at the end of the day, I see that it will help enlighten some young people who need first money, especially ladies. And look, I'm talking from this at a point where I've seen this. I live with people who always have the zest and zeal to go to Dubai. I have a sister back at home who wanna go to work to Dubai because there are no jobs in Kenya. There are no jobs, and many youths are unemployed. And she's working on this project that she wanna go to Dubai. But I'm not against that. The only problem that I have with Dubai is always the things that are always happening to those places. And in as much as I really want her to have her own job, but I didn't support her in going to Dubai to go to work. I just don't trust the place. I don't just trust those people. I don't know why. Most probably it's because of the negative things that I've been hearing about Dubai. And I told her, sister, I'm gonna support you with everything you want, but when it comes to going to Dubai, count me out. I'm not gonna help you go destroy your life. And we know people who have gone to Dubai have earned their hard-earned money. They found good community in those places. Some even married, some formed a community in those places. I'm optimistic about that, but it's not worth it. After this video, I didn't know that something called porta potty is happening in Dubai. It's some really crazy men with crazy fetish that they want to do just because they have money. They gotta treat you the way they want, taking you to during slavery times. Difference between you and a slave is no different. This is just modern slavery. It's inhuman activity which is happening. And this video will highlight some of the things that explains why I'm afraid, why I won't ask anybody to go to Dubai, to go to work to Dubai. I won't advocate for that because for me, man, I don't trust those people. After watching this video, you won't even trust those people. You also. So I want us to watch this video. And I know ladies have this, life of getting this money, making things work fast as possible without following the process. And it's so hard because you're living in a generation where people are impatient. People want to put in work. People people just want fast money. And they didn't know that there are huge consequences which are associated with wanting the fast money. So I want us to watch this video. I'll be back and buckle up because it's not going to be an easy video, but again, it's going to be an informative video. So let's dive right into the video.
How is it really happen in Dubai Porta Potty Confession Part 1 half?
They'll just tell you, say, oh, let's go to Dubai and have fun and all that. And I know man, he could do more $10,000 and all this. You call Mumbai party, big men, you call Mumbai party, now you call party. But just the truth behind it. $10,000 now, a year for a start. Maybe you're even getting $50,000. Trust me. This is not like meeting here. I know. I joined them. They join in, so I know what I'm saying. So they will give you $10,000. So they will give you $10,000 before you even leave Ghana. They will give you $10,000. Partner, they want you to look classy and all that, and to buy something for us. Oh, my man, and they say me from now, your car, belly, and Kina, down to them more and all that. They will not tell you that when you go to Dubai, you could do Dubai, yeah. And some of the culture say, Madumani culture, anyway, they say, oh, but essentially, I make big deal, yeah. Sometimes when you come my weather, and I say, big men, no, when a lot of them, like, if you're mere bed, 10 of them will fuck you at a time. Not also, like, it's a sex party. Not also. A lot of girls, not also. We are fucking ourselves from here, from here, from here. So the money you got is like 10% or let's say 20% of what you are coming to do here. That's what I said. This is what you are going to do. So this is what you have to wear. And then when you get to the party, they will take your phone. You are not allowed to use your phone at the party. They will take your phone because you're not allowed to take pictures. But the big men, the supposed big men you are going to meet now, they will be taking pictures. So when they told me that, yes, so it's a sex party, the men, the big men, all of like, you're into me pattern, the person will know have a sex part, you'll have sex with you. And then some of them later on, a pair of about the a side chick, if you find your doctor or not, they will tell you this is what you do after you go into the class. Then you lie down. You lie down like this. And then you open your mouth. And then you do your mouth like this and shit in your mouth. And when your dog wants to poop, your dog will shit in your mouth. And then you have to eat. You have to eat the poo. Yes. You have to eat the poo. You're not supposed to throw it away because you are being paid to do it. You are not supposed to throw the poo away. You are supposed to eat the poo. When they are shitting in your mouth like this, then you'll be eating it. Whether it's a dog or it's a human being. It's a dog, and to do a human, you have to eat it. If it's a human being, you have to eat it. And then one of the girls, they've been doing it, so they know they are big girls. They are big girls already. So one of them told.
You know what? I really don't want to play the rest of it, but I'm gonna play it because I am really sick to my. I don't even understand what process in her mind and other women's mind. I don't even believe white women do this shit. I know they do. You know, they go to Dubai, but they're not really focusing on it. I'm just talking about our queen going over there who have a poor person mentality, who have no soul, who have no self-respect. That you allow somebody to shit in your mouth and then you eat it. Can someone explain to me what psychological uh, going on happening in that person's mind that they would find it? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, like $14,000. Yeah, you can shit on me, and I'll eat it. Yeah. Oh boy, let's continue.
He said, Madonna, wait a second, you're big deal, yeah. Wait a second, you're big deal. You just open your mouth, and if you like that, you can take weed, you can take a lot of alcohol, anything to make you high. Like the government why high, yeah, my own feeling what you are doing, you know. Then you just swallow it. Just imagine the money. So I was like, really, yeah. Yeah, I can't do it, oh. I can't do it because those money that you are talking about, you know, excuse me to say I can get it without doing that. Yes. So I won't do it. So I won't do it. But I told them I won't do it. You're already in Dubai. Then I told them I will not do it. And when I was leaving Ghana, I told my mom, say, and my mom is like, all right, but she was like, yes, yeah, party, yeah. So she knew everything. She said, well, no, I'm afraid I'm not a bit, yeah. Almost this is what we are going to Honolulu say. Take the next available flights and come to Ghana. Me, kata me, you see, maybe, you know. Things that our people do for money. Things that our people do for money.
If you like $10,000 just to go visit him wherever in Dubai or wherever, and is willing to dash you $10,000. $10,000. Some people have never seen $10,000 in their life. You just need to look pretty and do what you have to do. I always feel like just be something that is unique because it's crazy things you ask to do. So to suck tools, to do what, like it's crazy. You can like I don't want to go deep. I don't want to go into details about that because it freaks me out. I don't want to skip. But the young guys need to know there is nothing for nothing. Okay. You want to make a box, you will do something that is worth it. You want $5,000, you want to do something that is worth $5,000. It's something I tried when I was on my Discord.
Hold on.
For its moment, I had to do it to just get back up. It's not something any woman should be proud of doing. Humble yourself and God will lift you up. Humble beginnings. I was a house girl. I became this. I got money. God took me back there. But the way you come back up is what matters. Welcome back to the channel. For the ladies that want to go to Dubai, I hope that you've made your mind, that you know the things that happen in those places, that you know the consequences that might happen. And I've seen scenarios where house owners, they take your passport. You can't leave the country. Your contract has already ended, but they still gotta keep you, and they wanna keep you for you to work for them. Some of them don't even pay the money that you guys agreed. I know not all of them does this, but I'm talking about the ones that do this. And that crazy fetish thing of pooping on someone's face, damn, that's crazy. I honestly don't trust those people. And I'll advise anybody, I'll advise any sister, any African sister wanna go to those places, you need to take care of yourself. I mean, don't you love yourself? You can start business in your country. Don't need to go to no country. I know we are really struggling with unemployment, and I know this is something which is really happening. But we can't just throw our lives and make it let's be slaves because of fast money. And I know $10,000 means a lot of money, a lot of money in Africa. I won't lie, even to me. But is it worth it? Is it worth it really? You ask yourself that question. Is it worth it your life? Is it worth it compromising your health? Just look at the sister who was contracted disease because she decided to follow the money instead of considering her health himself. People don't love themselves. People just want money. And I know where we come from sometimes. It's hard because maybe we come from families that are struggling financially and we need to set things right. We need things to work for us. And then we got to do anything to get that money. Women are flying to Dubai to get this dream job that they ever wanted just because the system is failing people. People don't have jobs and people are going to these places to go and look for jobs, right? So this is something that is really sad. I don't support it at all. That's why you see, for me, I have a sister at home who wanna go to Dubai. And she told me that, bro, I wanna go to Dubai. And I asked her, why are you going to Dubai? She told me that I found this agency and they're taking people and I need some money to go to Dubai. And I told her, well, sis, I support anything that you're trying to do. But for Dubai, that's a different place. And you know the stories that are always happening in those places. So for me, I don't really hope or for any person who wanna go to those places to look for a job. And I know it's contradictory because our country people are really unemployed. We got no money. People want money. People have to make both ends meet. People have completed schools. People have graduated. People don't got no money, right? So people are looking means for money. But just ask yourself, is it worth it compromising your life just because you need something? You need fast money. You need something. Hey, look, I'm not judging you. I know you're coming from a hard place. I've also been there. I've experienced that world. I won't lie to you. But it's not worth your life, you know. It's just not worth your life. It's no, it ain't, you know. So this was a very hard video, and some people might find it funny, some people might, you know, but it is a hard one. It is really a hard one. If you've heard the stories that those people go through when they go to those places, you definitely don't even want somebody that you know, maybe your friend, maybe your friend's friend, or just anybody go to those places. You won't want to hear anything about those people going to those places because those people just see you as a donkey. They can make even just sleep with any animal and they watch you because you want that money. That's what they do. They have these crazy fetish that they want to accomplish and they just gotta use you because you don't have the money. It is a sad story, but that's how we can share it. It's inhuman and our sisters need to hear this. The grass ain't greener on the other side. Stay safe wherever you are. I hope you're doing fine. I didn't have a lot to say about this video, most definitely, because it was a sad one. And for educational purposes, it's really crazy, right? So I'm gonna meet you on my next video. If you're watching this video for the first time, I'll ask you to join my membership, check out my Patreon, and subscribe, like, share so that it can reach people like-minded like you. Until then, this is the presenter Agent Stories. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.
All right. So let me let me see here. Practically wrapping it up. It's gonna be kind of fast tonight because I really wanted to focus in on the more important things. Normally the show would last for about 2.5, 3 hours. I don't even think we'll make it to 2 hours, to be honest with you. Like an hour and a half. But anyway, that was very detrimental and beyond sad. The you have a need for money. That's one thing. But you have a way of going about getting it, and that means you uh, want to have people shit on you. You know that. Yeah. Hey, Willie. Yeah, thank you for the comment, bro. That's the second time you've been here. I really appreciate it. And let's see. I really appreciate it, bro. But yeah, like I said, a person, a woman like that has little of no self-esteem whatsoever. And to be honest with you, I don't see it. What's the point of going somewhere where somebody is shitting on you, who have no respect for you, not only as a woman, as a person, as a black person, and that woman had no self-respect at all. So, so let's go on to the next video. Let me see here. Okay. So what we're going to cover, this one is 11 minutes. I really want you guys to understand that the black man and the black woman, black people are the most supreme people on the face of the planet. We are the very essence of the black universe filtered down into human form. We are the black universe, filtered down from that black universe into human form. There's no other so-called race, if there is a race, and we know that doesn't exist. I've never seen a red man or a yellow man before in my life. And this white stuff is not true either. But tonight, we're going to take a really short trip down memory lane to allow people who are watching and who will watch it that black people are the most supreme beings on the face of the planet. We are not the most. We are the supreme beings on the face of the planet because without us, there is no one else. I'll be right back.
We believe that being black is already a blessing from nature. Despite the historical struggles with racism, the unique advantages associated with the black race often go overlooked. It's not a matter of asserting superiority, but an acknowledgement of how nature has seemingly blessed black individuals with favorable genetic traits. The genetics of black people provide the origins of hate against them, suggesting that racism may stem from feelings of envy. But what are black genes? How would they make black people any different apart from having a different skin color? Let's find out. The Black History Archives. Black individuals are different from white people, not just in color, but also in the abilities they possess. In many places, people accept that black people are more blessed regarding their natural qualities, but that does not make them superior or white people interfere. Yet the question does arise, what set of qualities do black people have that are not very common in any other race?
Now, what he just said doesn't make us superior to white motherfucker. If it wasn't for black people, white people couldn't exist. They come from us. They are a derivative of Dravidian albino. And as you know, albino is nothing but bleached out black people. And those Dravidian albinos made it with normal black people that created these wannabe white people that we call white today, but they really are octoroons. Let's continue.
Let's understand black genetics in detail so you know exactly how and why you are blessed. Black individuals are often regarded as genetically gifted in certain powerful sports, such as sprinting, basketball, American football, and bodybuilding. The dominance of black athletes in these fields has sparked discussions about the existence of a genetic advantage. The first domain where black people got an edge was sprinting. The world of sprinting has witnessed a legacy shaped by black athletes, showcasing exceptional speed and breaking barriers that were once considered unconquerable. In 1968, Jim Hines etched his name in history by becoming the first person to break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters. This groundbreaking achievement not only marked a new era in sprinting, but also laid the foundation for the remarkable legacy that black sprinters would continue to build upon in the years to come. His accomplishment symbolized breaking a speed barrier that had long been considered unattainable. From the late 1960s until 2003, the exclusive club of sub-10-second 100-meter sprinters was primarily composed of African individuals. This era witnessed a concentration of elite black sprinters consistently pushing the boundaries of speed and rewriting record books. While exceptions like Patrick Johnson from Australia emerged, the overwhelming dominance of black athletes in sprinting during this period became an example of their extraordinary abilities. And how does genetics contribute to one being a good sprinter? Here's a reminder to please support us so we can make more videos for you by subscribing to our channel and giving the video a like. We want to build a strong community and we need your support. Let's continue now. The excellence in sprinting has long been associated with genetic factors, and the ACTN3 gene, also known as the sprinter gene, is important to understand an individual's ability to excel in explosive, high-intensity sports. This gene, responsible for coding the alpha-actinin 3 protein found in fast-twitch muscle fibers, is important in generating quick and powerful movements, such as those required in sprinting, jumping, and weightlifting. The ACTN3 gene has garnered attention for its association with sprinting prowess. Fast-twitch muscle fibers containing alpha-actinin 3 are crucial for rapid, explosive movements. a hallmark of successful sprinters. The presence of the R variant of the ACTN3 gene has been linked to increased production of alpha-actinin 3, providing individuals with a potential advantage in sprinting. Studies have delved into the intricacies of the ACTN3 gene and its influence on athletic performance. The R variant has been associated with enhanced sprinting ability, showcasing a genetic advantage that some individuals possess. Now the question is how genetics play their role in basketball and American football. Black athletes have left an indelible mark in sports, demonstrating prowess and dominance across various disciplines. Basketball, American football, and bodybuilding stand as areas where the undeniable impact of Black athletes is not only numerical but also instrumental in shaping the narrative of these sports. The National Basketball Association (NBA) exemplified Black athletes' extraordinary talent and skill. With over 70% of NBA players being Black, the league reflects numerical dominance and showcases the unparalleled impact Black athletes have had on the game. Legends like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant have not only redefined excellence on the court, but have become global icons, transcending the boundaries of sports. The National Football League (NFL) has been a stage where explosive athleticism meets strategic gameplay in American football. The representation of Black players in the NFL is significant, contributing to the league's dynamic and competitive nature. From powerful running backs to wide receivers, Black athletes have consistently showcased their versatility and skill, influencing the game's evolution. The influence of Black athletes extends beyond the court and field, reaching the world of bodybuilding. Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman, distinguished figures in the bodybuilding community, have held the prestigious Mr. Olympia titles. Their sculpted physiques and dedication to the sport have garnered admiration within the bodybuilding community and inspired aspiring athletes worldwide. The triumphs of Haney and Coleman highlight the diversity of talent within the Black community and their ability to excel in various athletic pursuits. The prevalence of Black athletes in basketball, American football, and bodybuilding challenges stereotypes and breaks down barriers. Their success shows the immense talent and dedication that exists within the Black community. These athletes serve as role models, inspiring generations to pursue their passions and overcome obstacles in the search for excellence. But how did Black people's genetics evolve so differently? The physical differences between Black and white people have been shaped by a complex evolutionary process influenced by many factors. The complex interplay of genetics, environmental conditions, and migration has given rise to physical abilities and Black skin, a prominent feature that has garnered scientific attention. The evolution of skin color is closely tied to adaptation to sunlight. Dark skin has evolved as a protective measure against the harmful effects of ultraviolet radiation, prevalent in regions closer to the equator. Conversely, light skin has developed to facilitate vitamin D production in areas with less sunlight. This adaptation is a vital response to environmental conditions.
Now, what he just said, that white skin is the adaptation of vitamin D, that's not true. White people, once again, come from circuit and albinos who made it with normal Black people. I thoroughly debunk that in my book, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 1 and 2, that you can find on Amazon, and we're going to cover that at the closing, what that looks like.
And highlights the intricate relationship between human physiology and the geographical distribution of sunlight. This simple genetic factor made Black people adaptive and resilient naturally.
Hold on.
Then comes migration, which played a role in making how Black people are today. Human migration has played a pivotal role in shaping physical differences. Populations that migrated to regions with weaker sunlight developed lighter skin to optimize vitamin D production. Conversely, those who remained in regions with intense sunlight developed darker skin to defend against ultraviolet radiation. Migration, driven by various factors, including climate and resource availability, has contributed to diversifying skin tones across different populations. So, the evolution of physical differences is tied to genetic factors. We all know that skin color is the major difference between races. Is there anything more than this? Recent research has uncovered significant skeletal differences between black and white individuals. Studies indicate that black men exhibit greater bone mineral mass and higher bone density than white counterparts of similar age, weight, and height. These findings challenge conventional assumptions about uniformity in skeletal characteristics and highlight the need to understand the factors influencing bone health. In addition to differences in bone mineral mass and density, research has highlighted another fascinating skeletal variation, the length of limbs. Black men, as revealed by a comprehensive study, tend to have longer limbs compared to white men of similar age, weight, and height. This observation contributes to the growing evidence indicating that skeletal diversity extends beyond mere density measurements. Then, higher areal bone mineral density is observed in black men than in white men. This difference is particularly notable at key skeletal sites, such as the whole body, total hip, and femoral neck. Now comes the main question no one talks about. Does it impact race? Do they define who you are going to be in terms of race? The relationship between genetics, race, and ethnicity is a debated topic within the scientific community. The definitions of race and ethnicity in genetics are multifaceted, with ongoing discussions regarding their validity and utility as representatives for understanding genetic differences among populations. The very definition of race in genetics is a subject of ongoing debate. While some geneticists view race as a social construct and caution against its use as a proxy for genetic differences, others delve into genetic terms, referring to variations in gene frequencies among populations. The consensus, however, is that race is a complex concept, defying reduction to a single genetic or biological factor. But do genes play a role? Certainly. Genes influence various aspects of an individual, extending beyond just physical abilities. In addition to determining one's physical prowess, genetics also plays a pivotal role of defining one's race. The complex code embedded in your genes not only shapes the unique set of abilities you possess, but also contributes to establishing the racial characteristics that distinguish you. The genetic blueprint is a detailed map that influences our physical attributes and contributes significantly to different races' cultural and ancestral aspects. It's essential to recognize that the distribution of abilities and characteristics among individuals results from genetic variations, and no race holds inherent superiority over another. Since genetic composition is beyond individual control, acknowledging genes' influence on physical abilities and racial identity emphasizes embracing diversity and ending notions of superiority based on factors beyond an individual's control. If Black people are not bragging about the qualities they possess, they should also not face racism. Do you think you are lucky just by being Black? Now, does racism make any sense to you? Is it hate, or is something originating from envy? Let us know in the comments section why you think these traits were not told to you before. Would you like us to make more videos? If yes, please support us by subscribing to the Black History Archives and clicking the bell icon. You can check out more videos on our channel too.
All right, we're gonna be. Let's see about that. This is a half an hour long. We're gonna break it up in two parts. This is very, very, very important about white tears, and I just love drinking. Fuck it, give me a couple white tears. So we're gonna cover that. But right now, I really want to focus in on the last few comments of that video where he talks about hate and envy. White people are envious, obviously, of Black folk. We got it all. I remember decades ago, I was a little boy. We were watching when they had 60 Minutes on, right? And they're talking about the descendants of the Black man that reached the North Pole. Um, what's his name? Henderson, something like that. His great granddaughter is the actress. I can't remember the black guy's name. Uh, Henderson, something like that. And the white counterpart reached the North Pole, right? So the idea is that when decades later or over a century later, um, uh, 60 Minutes goes back to that area where the descendants of the white guy and the descendants of the black guy were there. And they were noticing the difference. They're like, well, the black descendants, they can dance better, have more rhythm. Uh, they just all around better, all kind of everything. White descendants, they just ain't got it. You know what I mean? Fuck white folks, man. Fuck them. They ain't going. They will never be bees. They will always be shitty ass flies, and their children are maggots. That's it. That's all you gotta say. There's plenty of evidence showing that these people ain't worth a dime, ain't worth a damn, nothing. They have brought four things to the table of humanity: death, destruction, disease, and despair. So, let hold on, let me see. Okay, 10, that's 4, and 12. Okay, so we're gonna do the bigger one first. We're gonna break it down in 15 and then 12 minutes, and I will be right back. Hold on.
So today's video, it's a video I came by on TikTok that was captioned above the video. Poor white people in South Africa speak out and voice their opinion. I'm not quite sure, but I think this was a cutout from a documentary that got reposted on TikTok. Let me tell you, this was an interesting watch. So without further ado, let's get into it.
South Africa's changing social dynamic is not good for everyone. These Afrikaners, who enjoyed social and economic privilege during apartheid, are now near the bottom of the pile.
We are fighting for our language, we are fighting for jobs. So my feeling is that we are only fighting all the time to survive. To survive.
This woman legit stood in front of the camera and said her feeling is that they are only fighting all the time. All the time, she says. These are the descendants of a group of people that were in power for 500 plus years in South Africa. They were the ones doing the colonizing and the apartheid and the beating of African black people and the arrow warding and all of the age that went down during colonization and in apartheid South Africa, right? They got all the jobs, they got all the privilege, they got everything they wanted, they got, they were very comfortable. The change came when 1994, 30 years ago. 1994, apartheid ended and a new government came in, right? Black people started having power in society. Equality became a thing. I mean, if you really want to talk about it, it's still not equal now, even in 2024. But that's when equality started coming into the South African system. So starting from 1994, they had to now start competing, right? They had to compete with black people before they get everything that they wanted in life just because of their whiteness. So because now they have to compete fairly and they are failing at competing fairly, they think literally that they are being oppressed, when in fact they were the ones who left their home in Europe, traveled to other people's lands to go invade, subjugate, oppress, enslave, colonize, beat them on the streets, arrow them. But now see how she's very carefully wording it to make it seem like they were the ones who were actually experiencing these things. And can we talk about that smile she has plastered on her face? See how she's smiling from ear to ear. That smile says a lot, because there is no way in hell you would be smiling like that if truly you and your people are the oppressed and not the oppressor. Someone who's being treated unfairly, as they would want us to believe that they are being treated unfairly, won't be smiling like that. And then she said they are fighting for their language, Afrikaans. From what I understand, Afrikaans is still very well spoken in South Africa. It's even one of the official languages, I believe. And African people, Black South Africans, are meant to learn that language. The language is not dying. As a matter of fact, they are forcing it on people.
Thousands of white South Africans rely on charity to live. Betsy Dreyer has been running this community centre for 8 years. She's almost run off her feet.
I think there must be much more job opportunities for the people like my people here. Lots more. And that we must be aware that they mustn't be discriminating against them. It seems just to me that the thing is not in balance anymore.
Things are not in balance anymore. You literally can't make this up. The irony. Do you know how crazy it is for me to be hearing there, talk about balance? That literally translates to we are no longer, in control of all the power, in control of all the resources. We are no longer the ones having all the jobs and having all the good things life to offer. So things are not in balance anymore. When we were the only ones enjoying, things were perfect. When we did not have to compete with anybody, we just get each because we are white. Things were great. I love that. That's balance. Can we go back to that, please? That's literally what she's saying. This is literally the white South African version of MAGA. That's what that means. That's the translation, not her talking about discrimination. Can you imagine how hypocritical that statement is? And the irony in it coming from her. That is insane. How about you and your people pick yourselves up by the bootstrap? Yeah, I'm going there. I'm telling them exactly what they like to tell Black people, okay? Maybe, just maybe, if they stop having a victim mentality, they won't be poor. She said, in quotes, I think there she said, more job opportunities for her people. There must be. Why? Because they are white. I thought we were giving our jobs to look out for qualification, education. Do these people fit the requirements, have the requirements, the skills, the talents for these jobs? That's what employers look out for. You can tell this person is still living daily, reminiscing on the past, where they just get to reap all the benefits and enjoy all the good things, riches, comfort, all that good stuff, just because they are white. And that's what she's still asking for. If you pay close attention to her statements, how she phrased her words, I am not sorry to break it to her and the rest of them that think this way, that it's 2024, and the time where people just get opportunities and all the good things life has to offer just because they are white is in the past. Can we move on? It's 2024. I know you people really want to go back, but forward ever. Amen.
Hewitt Wolfert was a public servant when whites ran South Africa. Now he and his wife Santa, who was also retrenched from a government job, have barely a thread left of their old lives. Only their creativity is keeping them going. In part, they blame government policies, which give black people priority, set black quotas, and favour black-owned companies.
I don't know really that much about the racism, but I was the first one to go out, and then the others just followed.
Why do you think you were chosen to be retrenched?
I think they tell us we are whites. They don't give us work, they give it to other people
other races.
And that's what happens when they are trying to create an equal society. One way or another, the disparity would have to be fixed, meaning some people would have to go. It's unfortunate, but what needs to be done has to be done. I mean, how else were they supposed to do it in the new era of equality that South Africa was stepping into? Were they supposed to wait for people to naturally grow old and die first before they can really step into the era of equality? Because if they did that, a lot of other non-white South Africans who should have gotten a real job, at least for once in their lifetime, would have grown old and died, waiting for you people to grow old and die or retire first so these positions can be naturally or organically open and free for them to naturally, organically come in. It was an era of equality. Equality had to be implemented. It is what it is. There was no other way around it. And also, when you think about how a lot of white people got jobs just because they were white, it would not be too much of a stretch to say that I'm sure that there were a good number of white people who were just occupying positions that they did not even deserve. Because remember, back then during apartheid, these people just got these jobs because they were white. They were flourishing in society because of their whiteness. So when apartheid happened and changes had to be made, all the people, the mediocres, is that a word? All the people who weren't qualified, who were just there because they were white, I'm sure they had to go. I'm sure they had to go so they could bring in more qualified people. And this is another thing that I feel like white people don't pay attention to is how their system of uh, favoritism, the system of white supremacy, actually makes them mediocre people. Because these systems make these people just comfortable in their whiteness and make them believe that, oh, because you are white, you can get anything you want. You can, the world is your oyster. So they basically, within this period of time, historically, especially the everyday white people, they just got comfortable in that whiteness, and in their mind, it's going to be a card that they would forever have in their pockets.
And that's the mentality of what I want to call poor white trash. There's a great book called White Trash. You guys need to check that out. I didn't write it, but it's available on Amazon, and it's just a great book. But the idea too is that white people cannot compete with black people. They will forever be in last place. They gotta cheat. It just reminds me of when I was a kid. Just to make up the story, or remembering the story, is that I was in what grade, like fifth grade, and so I was on the verge of winning. There was only one prize, and that was the first place prize of being the best runner in my grade class. And so the gun goes up, boom, and then we start running. And the white kid I was running against, I was damn near walking. And so by the middle of the track, the coach said, telling him to run across the track to cheat. But my parents didn't tell me, raise me to cheat, so I finished the race. But he ended up that night getting the award and the plaque or whatever the fuck else. White people, man, let me tell you, they would do whatever it takes to gain control, keep control, and putting the other people down. That's part of their colonial mindset and the game they play called colonialism. I remember Chris Hayes, right? Chris Hayes um, on X, great uh, author and book. He talking about how white folks set it up. They know they're not superior, but if they can get you to fall for that bullshit, they got you. And then they go about, taking control of the government, policy, laws, and regulations to push down the indigenous people and raise them up. And then generation after generation after generation, it sets in the mind of the maggoty ass kids of theirs, thinking that, their white skin is what gets them around. And it doesn't. It's a house of cards, and it definitely is falling as I am speaking right now. And white folk got it coming back in spades. You just cannot keep fucking around and fucking around and fucking around, and you ain't gonna find out. They are now finding out. So let's wrap this up.
That basically came back to bite them in the ASS because during all this while they were basking in their whiteness and having everything handed to them just because they were white. African black people, colored people, and other people that were in South Africa were doubling up on everything that they have just so they can have a fighting chance. They were putting more effort into making sure, okay, they have all their education, they're getting masters and this, that, and the third, and improving their skill. Other people were improving on themselves, constantly improving on themselves because they understood that it's a tough world. And as a non-white person, you have to be 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times better than an average white person for you to get the same advantages, enjoy the same advantages that they get to enjoy just because they are white. So what this creates basically is that you now have a group of people who are just like mediocre, and a group of people who, because they understand what the life is like, they try to beat the situation that was handed to them, the cards that were handed to them, by improving on themselves. Right? So they improved on themselves so much that they were now so better than these mediocre white people. So when the tables turned, basically, the mediocres had to go and get replaced by the people that have been improving on themselves. And I think that's something that really affects white people. Well, because they are basking in white supremacy, they don't see it. They don't see how them operating within a system where things are made to just fall on their laps because they are white, and how this system makes it so they don't compete with other people, makes them mediocre, and in turn makes other groups of people better than them. They don't see how racism negatively affects them. They don't see how white supremacy negatively affects them. The mistake the everyday white person makes is think that they are really on the same level of the affluent white people. That's one mistake that they make. They are white people who were not let go, either because they have more money and connection, or hell, maybe they are even the owners of the business, the companies, or they were just more educated. They are from affluent families, right?
We don't have a chance. You can go and look for a job. They tell you, they phone you back, and you never hear again from them.
Por fin he conseguido aumentar la producción de fruta de mis árboles frutales después de dejar de utilizar
Millions of black South Africans still live in squatter camps. 1/3 of the population has no electricity. Running water and housing are limited. This was once an exclusively black domain. But as new middle-class blacks move into the wealthy white suburbs, the poor whites are joining poor blacks in poverty.
There's a lot of people struggling. But it's our peers. The blacks always have struggle.
See the way he just said that, like the blacks always had to struggle. So struggling is like a black people thing. He can't believe he's struggling now. It's hard for him to wrap his brain around it. The blacks always had to struggle.
Johan Devenager lost his legs last year when he says he was pushed from a train. Now he can't get work. He gets a tiny pension, but he's forced to make up the difference collecting cans for recycling. Home is a squatter camp with 14 others, white and black. It's a big change from his once relatively comfortable life during apartheid.
We had meat, we had money.
Crush them cans, boy.
We didn't have problems. It was lucky, it was nice. Everything was shop. Now times are changing.
Get your cripple ass over there and crush them motherfucking cans, boy.
This is what equality looks like. As if anybody deserves to be poor.
Give me them. Give me a cup of them motherfucking white tea.
Like, who is supposed to be poor? Who? Literally, no one is supposed to be poor. But some people had to be poor for 400, 500 plus years. And now they are only experiencing poverty for like 30 years now. And Madame earlier was talking about how she feels like they've been fighting always. They've been always fighting. And hell, we are not at 100% equality yet, even in South Africa, if we want to keep it 100. There is still like disparities going on in how things are run and how, you know, Black people get mistreated and sometimes don't even get paid their labor's worth. Can we talk about how lands, over 70% of the lands, I believe, lands that they stole from indigenous South Africans are still in the hands of them folks. They didn't return them back. Because if we really want to talk about equality, there's a lot of things that they will have to give back and let everybody literally go back to an even playing field. If it looks like this now and South Africa is not at a 100% equality level, imagine how it would look if, you know, South Africa gets to 100% equality level.
Four and a half million white South Africans make up about 10% of the population. Most whites are Afrikaners, many from rural areas, and they're said to be less entrepreneurial than British South Africans, partly because of their previously protected existence in the lower levels of the public service. It's the Afrikaners who are the worst affected by the government's determination to make the workforce better reflect the population. Many are now being forced to rely on soup kitchens to survive. White unemployment has risen by almost 200% in 5 years. The trade union Solidarity is helping to feed the most desperate in the white population.
We think, unfortunately, the situation is that the current government that we had has in the past said they fought for a non-racial society, free of racial discrimination. And what we see now is the same kind of system that we had in the past. It's just being implemented by other people, and it is a racially driven society we see more and more.
First of all, that's a big lie. Yeah, I said it. That's a big lie. The audacity of this man to say, you know, it's the same kind of system as the past. Like, no, you are not liking what's going on right now in South Africa with what's happened in the past. It's not even comparable. One is a lie, hammering on that, because what's happening in South Africa now isn't racially driven like them folks want people to believe. This is basically propaganda. This is propaganda. It's the same thing too with what they do with how old, you know, they are killing, unaliving white farmers in South Africa. That's propaganda. And I think it's crazy to compare what's happening right now in South Africa as regards to employment, who gets the job and who doesn't, to the past. Because like in the past, not only were people not getting, Black people, African people, indigenous of South Africa, not getting jobs just because of their Africanness or their Blackness. They were getting beat on the streets. There was literal segregation going on. That's very different. So to compare it is insane. It just tells you like the lack of the way there's no touch with reality, basically.
Solidarity was formed from the remnants of the Mine Workers Union, which campaigned hard to keep both low-skilled Afrikaners and Black people out of the workforce during the apartheid years. Now it's lobbying against affirmative action. Do you understand how ironic it sounds for white South Africans to complain about a government being racially motivated, considering the history here?
Yeah, well, but from our side, we also see it ironic that a government that fought against racial legislation is now doing exactly the same what they fought against.
This video truly reminds me of the saying, when you are used to privilege, equality feels like oppression. And at this point, I want to ask, where is Elon Musk? He should come and save his people. All of that billions, he can help their life. I'm just saying. They should call on Elon Musk to come save them. Just give them like 500K each. I'm sure if he does that, the money will still not finish. There are not that many. See what Africans are saying in the comments. Why are they not going to Urania? That's a very good question. Someone in the comments said, I need a maid.
I need a maid.
For context, during apartheid, being a maid was like one of the only jobs, like one of the few jobs that were available for African women to do. So that's the reference here. But this is how they were living though during apartheid South Africa.
And then there's people like you who ask me, why do you love the pastor so much? I'm going to show you.
What makes it so easy?
Well, I think our husbands spoil us, the majority of women, and we grow up in an easy way. We never have to do anything for ourselves. Once you've trained your servants, then they work for you and you don't have to do the work yourself. And I think most South Africans are very lazy. I'm one. I think I'm that too. You go out to work, you come home, and everything's ready for you. You get up in the morning, you don't have to do a thing.
The pointed thing here is that the easy life is on the white side of the colour bar, and the hard life, with very few exceptions, is on the dark side.
While Black women were, being house help maids, going to their houses to go earn a living, they just had to not care about anything in the world. They don't even have to raise their own kids because African women, Black women, were raising their kids for them.
You know what's the strangest part? People like that calling me lazy in the life of a Black man, regardless of how hard he works for his family, he will always be reduced to this. While the life of a white man,
For white workers in the industry, wages are high, around $2,000 a year, and rents are cheap, often only £6 a month. White workers resist the promotion of Africans as skilled work. As foreign investment grows, attracted by raw materials, a growing market, and cheap labour, so the stock exchange grows. In this masculine white society, the preoccupation is money.
and the life of a Black woman revolved around taking care of her husband, her children, and then taking care of you, your husband, and your children. The same woman that does the likes of you wants to sit down with me and discuss feminism. Meanwhile, the structures of oppression has never been the same. For us women, there's a gap.
The women have such an easy life, very easy life. I mean, if they don't go out to business, they've got more time on their hands to get into more mischief, which you must admit is lots of fun.
People like we had to build from scratch, while others were benefactors of a system that was designed for them. We were too selfish to help the white man maintain this system. I mean, with my energy, if it was up to me, I swear, we would be backsides, for real, because I would have started everything. Then how money you say you earn, you will genuinely earn it. I'll definitely give you a dream come true.
Another comment, they are not poor, they are experiencing what their fathers did to our fathers, and for them it's uncomfortable. And just to be clear, poverty is not something that I would wish on anybody regardless of their race, because that is...
I want to hear that again.
Another comment, they are not poor, they are experiencing what their fathers did to our fathers, and for them it's uncomfortable. And just to be clear, poverty is not something that I would wish on anybody regardless of their race, because that is... No, that's not something I would do. It's not in my person. It's not fun. I literally would not want anybody to have to live like this. Whether white, Black, Asian, anybody. It's not something that I enjoy looking at. And I think this is a sentiment that many people feel. But the reason why they are not getting much sympathy, because still when you listen to these people, it's like no lesson was learned. They are still blaming people for the situation that they and their ancestors obviously created. Because look at the way they are phrasing their words. Things are not in balance anymore. They must give them more job opportunities. Why should they give your people more job opportunities? Everybody deserves job opportunities. You people are just like 10% of the entire population, but they should give people more job opportunities. What about the rest people? Everybody should get like equal opportunities, and if you deserve the job, you get it. That is how it's supposed to be. But back to where I was going before, they don't see that this particular situation that they find themselves in is one that they crafted out by themselves. They created this reality for themselves, literally, if we really want to talk about it. Because things would not look like this for them right now if they had not operated the way they did in the past. How you lay your bed, that's how you lie on it. They laid this bed, and they're lying on it right now. And also, still, if you give these people the opportunity with the way they are speaking, they would literally bring back apartheid. Things are not in balance anymore, bro. Hence why, even though I see these people, I'm like, these are still human beings, and this is sad. And I would not want anybody to live like this. But I still can't find myself really feeling sad for them. Why? Because when you listen to these people, they are not saying nobody should live like this. Nobody should be. They're saying only we shouldn't. Like, this is something that is good for anybody, right? It's still it's the sentiment for me. Yeah, I feel by looking at it, it's sad. But as I'm listening to this, I'm like, this is how you feel even till now. Like, okay. And I think, the majority of people watching this video still feel this way. Like it's a conflicting emotion. Like looking at them is sad, but still at the same time, you're like, I'm not sad. It's conflicting, but I think you guys get the point. But guys, what's your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, I would see you guys in the next one. Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on that one. Look, I'm not going to play it because I just seen it. I watched it earlier, and the Indians were talking about white folks and how they stole $27 trillion, and they come back and say, "Well, you guys just lazy." India was the richest continent, if I'm not mistaken, in the world, which is the daughter of Africa, and you got the IMF offering India money, and then all of it. They're just giving you your money back. That's all. And the Indian guy, was very, very upset, saying that white folks ain't shit. They steal, then they turn around and tell you, you don't have anything, and the idea is that you need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all this other bullshit. They did none of that. You know what I mean? And they go back and turn around and tell you you ain't shit. You don't have no history. This is the 67 points of the colonial game they play. Oh boy. So let's see where we're at. So I'm gonna play this one. This guy just really nails it. And it says we were victorious because of the diseases we brought along. Not the diseases that the Europeans brought along to conquer wherever they went. And I'll play that. Let me see. Okay. And I'll play this one now, and I'll be right back.
Was because the Europeans slept with animals? No, I don't mean in that way. I wonder how these Spanish conquistadors conquered so much of South and Central America with hardly any people. They took on the Aztecs with only 550 men. Pizarro went into South America with 168. They were victorious not because of the guns and the steel they brought with them, but because of the disease. Columbus landed on Guanaja, the island next to ours, in 1502. He'd been so sick for weeks that he hadn't written in his logbook. Dropped anchor, the local population came out in canoes to greet him. not knowing that he was leaving us the germs.
Now, that might not be new information for some people, but not only did they do this in the Americas, they also did this in the Pacific Islands, Australia, and of course, Africa. Like this article mentioned, since colonization, Africa has always been seen as a diseased and dirty place. As the colonization of Africa continued, more and more Africans saw an increase in famine and disease. Before the 19th century, most African states had mastered their environment and diseases were relatively under control. Like in the Americas, Africans had mastered farming and agricultural techniques for thousands of years that prevented famines and disease. And just like the cultural norms of the other indigenous populations around the world, Africa placed a great value on their environment and their animals. Like you mentioned in the previous video, wherever they went, devastation follows. And I don't think people understand the levels of devastation. But for example, in the 1880s, the Italian traders introduced the cattle disease rinderpest. Up to 90% of the cattle in parts of Central and Eastern Africa were killed by this disease. That included Tanzania, Kenya, Malawi, Zambia, and South Africa. From 1880 to 1890, it just took 10 years for them to destroy 90% of the cattle. The introduction of the slave trade brought disease as well, and not in the way that you think. Because of the introduction of the slave trade, specifically in East Africa, it produced new patterns of settlement. More people began to live in close proximity for security reasons, so they wouldn't be taken by slave traders. More people began living in close proximity, and previously inhabited areas became large forests that were a breeding ground for tsetse flies, especially in Central and Eastern Africa. Because of this, over 200,000 people died of sleeping sickness around the Lake Victoria area, just that area alone. When the disease spread to the Congo and to Zambia, it also did the same thing, killing hundreds of thousands of people. Now, European slave traders did bring diseases, but people tend to forget about the European settlers who drove it home. They brought smallpox, they brought jiggers that are sand flies that cause loss of limbs, cholera, meningitis, and yellow fever. Now, what the Europeans did in Africa as far as diseases could kind of be considered biological warfare, but it wasn't purposeful, so it can't be biological warfare, but there were deliberate attempts in an effort to colonize Africa that had devastating effects. The Germans killed about 80,000 people in Namibia, which broke down the agricultural methods and economic systems. This also happened in Ethiopia, Sudan, and Kenya, which in turn created famine in the 1880s and 1890s. Even though it was Europeans that brought diseases and famine, Africa, hunger, and disease all became the dominant stereotype in the European mindset, which reverberates to this day. I hope you learned something new.
Hold on.
Yes, they are masters of projection. And once you pick up on this behavior pattern of theirs, then everything starts to make sense. Then you would even stop asking, why are they doing this? Because you understand that they are projecting what they feel about themselves onto you.
Now pay attention to what this is saying right here. They, white people, are the masters of lie, deceit, and projection. Every disgusting thing they call us is who they fucking are. Don't ever forget that shit. Don't ever forget it. They're the nasty motherfuckers, uncivilized motherfuckers. We civilized them bitches, them fucking flies. Them maggot ass children of theirs 3 times. In Egypt, Greece and Rome, and now. 3 strikes you out, motherfucker. Just like in baseball. 3 strikes you out. No more, no more, no more. We are bees, fuck these motherfuckers, let them die off.
You also stop getting pissed and angry and feel the need to want to prove something to them. You also stop to care about what they think about you, because you now figure it out that what they are thinking about you is actually what they're thinking about themselves. A very good example of their projection is that rhetoric that they have of Africans are dirty. You as an African hears this and you are confused, wondering, why are they saying this? Because you bathe 2 times a day. All the Africans around you bathe 2 times a day. There are even days you bathe 3 times a day. But here you are hearing people who, if you go to TikTok search bar right now and type, why do people don't bathe, you would come by a plethora of videos of these people talking about how they don't bathe daily. You would come by videos of these people talking about how while they are bathing, they don't even wash their feet. You will come by a video, that one shocked me. Oh, these matured men and women gathered, podcast table, grown people, talking about how they had not bathed their baby for 5 months. That video is on TikTok. If you go and search with this research words I gave you, you would come by that. But these are the people telling you that you are dead. We that even if we are just in our house, we did not go anywhere the whole day, we still bathe 2 times a day. Another very good example. These people are uncivilized, these people speaking. We need to go and civilize them, we need to go and help bring these people into the light. They are living in the darkness. Only for them to show up with this civilization. First of all, they show up with bacteria that people had never seen before. Germs! Where they're not the bath. These people killed off people with blankets. On top of the civilization that they bring, people were dying. They were unaliving people in the millions, cutting off body parts. And I said, it could be like saying now we when even they speak English, won't help these people explain to them what civilization really mean. Because obviously they did not know. Pin people left, right, center. Using children as baits to catch alligators. Using enslaved people's hair as stuffing for chairs. You would think that human beings cannot do what would make planet shake, but these people shook the entire planet. Our ecosystem is not the same again. It's crazy when you think about it. That's how bad it was. But to these people, it's you, but we, the rest of the world, that were uncivilized. Like, look in the mirror. It's like up is down, down is up mentality. You want to civilize people. Are you civilized? You don't just ask yourself that question. It's the projection. Because they know they are the uncivilized one. The first say, we'll tag them as the uncivilized one before they go notice. It's the projection. They definitely knew they were not civilized. I mean, come on, civilization is their word. And they gave it the definition to it. You want to tell me those people looked at the words, looked at the definition, and they went, "Is us?" No, they knew they were not civilized, and they had no intentions of, civilizing themselves. So they decided to tag other people as civilized.
You heard what you just said? They're not interested in civilizing themselves because they don't know how. White people are flies. They like eating shit, living in shit, doing shit. They will never be bees like us. Get that into your fucking brain.
Project their own inherent feelings and thoughts about themselves upon these people. Another good example is this hatred for, dark skin or black people because of their skin. But man, we are seeing you sitting in the sun, risking having cancer just so you can get a little bit of a tan. Like, just tell us that you wish you had some melanin, and the only reason why you are hating on melanin is because you don't have it and you are pissed at the facts. Let's call it what it is. Because we see the projection. It's glaring. Bloody spent 400 years trying to make people hate the skin they are burning into. But look at you, jumping into tanning boots, man. So the whole thing is, like I said, they feel like shit, and they've been feeling like shit for years now. So because they can't make themselves feel better about themselves, they're like, I'm going to make you feel like shit as well, so that I can feel better about myself, because you just can't be having all of this ish going, and I can't get them. I'm pissed. So if I can't be happy, you can't be happy, basically. It's just crazy. Also, come and tell me about how superior you are because you don't have melanin. Man, you can't even step out of your house without sunscreen. Yeah, you are superior, all right. I already see all of the tactics for what it is. Master projection, like you call it. That's why I tell my people, whenever I hear them say anything, anything at all negative about you, trust. They're actually talking about themselves, but they want to first project it onto you so you can be distracted from actually seeing that this thing they're saying is actually about them. It's all a distraction. They are trying to distract you from seeing these parts of them by tagging you as a person who have these parts. So now you are so focused looking at yourself to see, am I really like this? Or how can I change? And how can I, prove that I'm not like this? When they are the ones who are actually supposed to be doing all of that work. But now you are so distracted thinking that they were right. While they can just go under the radar being that exact same thing that they are tagging you off that you are not. But before you figure it out, it's too late.
Guanaja had a vibrant trading economy. They traded with other places, including our island. Within 30 years of Columbus landing on Guanaja, everybody on our island was dead. There was nobody left on Utila. Nobody. And they traded with the mainland, and those germs went with them. I've heard of the lost city of the monkey god, which is a name given to it not because it's historically accurate, but because it sells books. That entire civilization collapsed when the diseases that came with Columbus reached into that far part of the Honduran jungle. One of the first things the archaeologists found there was this huge cache of broken idols. And as the disease was indiscriminately killing people throughout the city, the religious leaders brought these idols to one spot and broke them open. They thought that by breaking open the idol, they could release the god that had been entombed in it, and that god would come out and save them. But it didn't. Nothing could save them from these germs. And so the few remaining people dispersed into the jungle, and the jungle overtook the city, and it was lost from everybody for over 400 years. That story repeated itself throughout South America, Central America, and North America. Disease devastated these civilizations. So by the time the Europeans showed up, there was nobody to fight anymore. Their leaders were dead. Their armies were dead. 90 and 95% of all people in the Americas were dead within 60 years of Columbus arriving. That's at least 55 million people, maybe more than 100. Europeans won because their diseases meant there was nobody left to fight them. But that begs the question, why did the disease go from the Europeans over to the Americans? Why didn't it go from the Americans to the Europeans? And the answer is that as a culture, the Americans were clean and the Europeans were filthy. While people in the Americas washed every day, people in Europe wouldn't wash for months. People in Europe lived with their animals. They brought them into their homes. They bedded down next to them. This meant that there was a high transmission rate of disease from their animals to humans. And because of the poor sanitary conditions that the humans lived in, it spread. This meant that Europe had diseases that had never existed in the Americas. It caused plagues in Europe that wiped out millions of people. The Black Plague is just one example. But over tens of thousands of years, the Europeans had developed natural antibodies to those diseases. That meant Europeans could carry those diseases back to the Americas where nobody had those antibodies. And all of the plagues of Europe came crashing down in the Americas in one single event. Tens of millions of people would die, civilizations would collapse. And because the Europeans had been filthy and had lived with their animals, they were able to come in immune and just take over.
Well, you heard it. You heard it. Let me get out of here. We're about to wrap it up. This one or 10 minutes longer. Talk about Governor Gavin Newsom and the Cooney Negro that's part of his Black Caucus and there in California. And again, we're dealing with ineptness and apathy, political apathy. You got to be involved, Black people in America. I'm here in the Dominican Republic. We got a Black president. We got this. We got that Black governor, Black senator. We don't have the departments here. But I'm an American too, and I want to see our people being successful. You need to put your foot down when the police are harassing and killing and maiming you. Go to Bonds for the Win. BONDS 4 FOR the THE Win WIN.com. I think it's .com. Hold on. Let me look that up right now. I think it's .com. Yeah, bonds.com. Here we go. You can get every police officer, every city, every police station, or whatever the case may be, state has a surety bond. Get that motherfucker, get off your fucking nigger asses and stop whining and moaning and bitching like a bunch of fucking women and fight. Claim the surety bond. They walk you through the motherfucker. There's no reason why you cannot fight. Oh my God. Fight, motherfuckers, fight. I've been giving you this information for I don't know how long. And none of you motherfucking working motherfuckers there in America ain't done shit. It's not the white man, it's you. Some of us, like the cooling ass niggas in California, Black Caucus and the National Black Caucus, they're not for you. They're for themselves and their family. But I'm giving you constantly clues and methods to fight. Bonds for the Win is it. They'll walk you through and on how to do it. All right. So we're gonna play Gavin Newsom and for 10 minutes. Then I'll wrap it up for the last video. That's about 4 minutes, and I will be right back.
Oh my God. Bruh, when I tell you that I hate this man and I think that he may be the Antichrist, I genuinely believe it. Okay. I genuinely believe Gavin Newsom may be the Antichrist because this is some wicked, diabolical stuff going on right now. So, y'all know I did a video on him vetoing the bill for Black people to reclaim stolen property, okay, eminent domain, that it was taken from Black people due to racism. Hey, I don't like you, you're Black, give me the property. He vetoed that bill, right? And y'all know that he had his hand in the bill dying on the floor when it came to the reparations bill that the California Legislative Black Caucus was supposed to push through, okay? That Stephen Bradford created and was supposed to push through. Both of those bills, one he killed, the other he vetoed. And they wanted to say that we were afraid that he was going to veto it, yada, yada, yada. He already vetoed the other one. Y'all know what bill out of the reparations package? The reparations package. How you going to have a reparations package if only one of the bills actually does anything for reparations? Hell, two of the bills. And the two bills, you killed one and he vetoes the other. Make that make sense. Now, the bill that he did sign, this vile, wicked, evil individual, okay, this just monster, he signs a bill that has California apologizing for slavery.
Sorry. You're sorry. I'm deeply sorry.
If it wasn't so funny, bro, I shouldn't be laughing, but it is hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical. He vetoes all the bills that can help us, and then gives us an apology. He gives us an apology bill. And you want to know what something? You look at the picture. You know who's not there? Stephen Bradford, the person who actually authored the two bills that will actually help us for reparations. But you want to know who is? Reggie Jones Sawyer. This man you want to know who that man is? I'm sure some of y'all remember him. Because please, come November, please remember this man. All you Californians, okay, please remember this man. Reggie Jones Sawyer. Get this man out of the Black Caucus. We need to get all of them out of the Black Caucus, but especially him. This is the same man that when the bill for reparations died on the floor, he was the one smiling and going, like a damn fool. That's that man. Mocking black people who are actually being politically active, who are actually doing what they were supposed to do, their civic duties. Okay, trying to get as far as people who are supposed to be helping us, right? The Black Caucus. Imagine the Black Caucus actually turns out to be the White Caucus. that's what it turns out to be.
Bottom
You
line.
have these Sambos, right? These Sambos who are put in these positions, and then you have him who's praising Gavin Newsom for signing the bill. He gets his little picture with Massa smiling, right next to Gavin Newsom. He's smiling. Of course, Gavin Newsom's smiling. He can't help but smile. That's what the demon, bro. He has to let go of some of the evil spirits. I think he does that through showing his teeth. This is what's happening. Okay, I told y'all this is why I really can't stand Larry Elder. Okay, I can't stand for a litany of things, but him actually helping Gavin Newsom when we tried so hard to recall him and get him off out of here, bro, and him doing something like this, and then to have Reggie Jones Sawyer, bro, Lori Wilson, another one who's the chair of the Black Caucus. All of those Sambos have got to go. This is what I'm talking about. Now, if we had been any other group, as I showed you, when it came to the Jewish people, he didn't have a problem getting Jewish people back.
There you go.
Right? He didn't have a problem. He was silent. He was probably sweating while he was signing. He was like, I'm signing as fast as I can. But when it comes to black people, you see how he vetoes bills and disrespects us. Why? Because we have Sambos who allow this disrespect. We have these old heads in office who allow this disrespect. And as I told y'all before, this is a sign of extinction. This is what this looks like, is extinction. All right? If we do not get active in this political arena, we don't vote these mofos out, we don't apply pressure to them, that was
There's a lot of music going by, so hold on.
To everyone else. Gavin Newsom just relayed to us, hey, these Negroes, they're good ones, okay? They do as I say. They ain't gonna give me a hard time, right? They ain't gonna press me. They're the good ones, so we're gonna keep them in power. All right, that's what we're gonna do. It is up to us to get these mofos out by any means necessary. Okay? It is up to us to get them out. We get them out, we get actually some people who are gonna fight for us, which is what they're supposed to do in the Black Caucus. All right? But I want you to understand this is really happening on a national level. It's really happening everywhere. Because you remember the Fearless Fund that they tried to attack for the black women? Okay, you remember the Fearless Fund that was supposed to be giving out loans to black women to start, to invest in their businesses, and they got that shut down, the racists? Guess what? Do you remember as far as the Latino Fund being shut down? Do you recall that? Because there is a Latino Fund that they give money to Latino people to invest in their businesses. They didn't say anything about that. So when I say this is a concerted effort to attack and erase black people, that's what that is. They are attempting to go for
100%.
They even believe possibly, ostensibly, may help black people. We see this with affirmative action, okay? And we need to cause some good legal trouble. That's what needs to happen, all right? I saw more energy being directed at Eric Adams, and I know he's not I said Chicago in the video. My bad. Chicago, New York. I understand. My bad. Okay. I saw more energy directed at Eric Adams than I've seen at any white politician. Than I've seen at any House member, any Senate member, anyone that would actually have an impact on them feeling the pressure of, hey, we're upsetting some people. We're upsetting our constituents. Because that's what needs to happen. I know money talks, but there's a lot of ways if money talks, there's a lot of ways to silence that thing. Okay? There's a lot of ways to hush that money up. We have got to become educated in this game. Because if we don't, we're going to see this time and time again. Because if all these mofos of Black Caucus, if not one of them gets yeeted, then we're a joke. We're a joke. That's what everyone's going to see. Gavin Newsom's going to see it. Other Republicans are going to see it. Other Democrats are going to see it. And the abuse is going to constantly continue. Because they know that, hey, we can treat these black people however we want. And the only thing they'll do is not vote. Okay, we'll just replace your vote, right? If you can steal money from someone and the only thing they'll do is just complain about you, right? If you can go to someone's house, rob them clean, And the only thing they'll do is, well, they're not going to invite you to their next birthday party. Wait, what? That's it? You're not going to call the cops on me? You're not going to press charges? You're not going to sue me? All you're going to do is just not talk to me in 4 years? You're just going to give me the silent treatment in 4 years? Okay, bet. Absolutely, all day. Imagine you go and rob a bank and that's what they do. Well, we're just not going to allow you to enter in 4 years. But after the 4 years, you can come back in because I think you've learned your lesson. So I want you to understand that's what you're relaying to people. That's what us as a collective are relaying to people when we talk about, well, I ain't going to vote, okay? Well, they ain't done nothing for me. Well, I'm going to sit down, okay, family? That's a trick bag. That's what you're relaying to people. If all you're doing is complaining, all right? If all you're doing is complaining and you're passive in your complaint, which is not voting, right? If that's the worst they have to deal with, that's nothing, bro. We need to be actively complaining. We need to be actively letting our disdain shown. That's what that needs to happen. Like, hey, I don't agree with what you did. I'm gonna protest you until you die, bro. I'm gonna protest until you die, until you're out of office, whichever comes first. I don't care. I'm gonna protest this mofo. We're gonna cause a problem in every press conference you have. They're gonna have us right outside, and we're gonna be there. And the Republicans are gonna be there. If y'all won't talk to us, they're gonna talk to us, and we're gonna make y'all look bad. And we're gonna get more and more and more people so that you can't ignore us. You may be able to ignore 3, but you won't be able to ignore 10, 20, 50. And you can organize for dumb rallies, right? You can do a reparations rally, and surely we can have that same fervor, that same energy towards actual things that will push the needle forward. Anyways, guys, that's the video. There's no disagreement here. There really isn't. All right, we have got to show our political savvy, or we're going to go extinct. Simply complaining and complaining is not enough. We have got to understand. Hey, when is their term up? When are they up for re-election? Hey, who are they getting money from? Hey, when's the next press conference they have? Hey, where are they going to be? That's what needs to happen. We need to become a thorn in their side. That's how that works, bro. We either need to come as far as mobilize and organize and get that done, or like I said, we just in Twitter spaces talking about tangibles and stuff. That's it. So if you happen to disagree, I don't see why. You know where to find me Friday, Sunday, Wednesday, calling me people out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Until next time, guys, be amazing.
All right, so we're gonna go to the last video. This is 4 minutes, but I just want to take a time now to really emphasize a couple of things. And that is, there's 3 rings of power: politics, economics, and religion. When you have those 3 rings of power, no one can stop you from getting to what you need to do, what you need to have. Garbage pickup, jobs, connections, you name it. Policy, regulations, and laws passed in your favor. The list goes on and on. And then that spills over into the economic area, and the economic area spills over into the political arena. That's what IPAC is all about. Like he was saying, they'll be breaking their motherfucking neck to make sure that whatever bill the IPAC brings in gets signed. No ifs, no ands, no buts. So we're gonna go to the last video, and we're gonna wrap it up, and then I'll see you guys next Saturday. And Brother Muhammad, if you're watching, I'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it started.
Three houses from here. And this morning, around 6:30, there was an alarm, and then immediately afterwards, a big explosion, very, very big explosion. Even 3 or 4 houses.
So let me give you a little bit of context. You know, Nasrallah was killed, and this is just going to get into a wider war in the Middle East. And these funky ass motherfucking nasty fucking fake ass Jews, they just need to be killed, man. Because each and every one that's over 18 is an ex IDF soldier, whatever you want to call it. And they don't give a fuck about the Middle East and the natural inhabitants, the indigenous people there, the Palestinians who are Semitic. So let's wrap it up.
Our window in the main room was completely destroyed and the ventilator fell down. The last time in 2006, there was less rockets like we got today. Because I had maybe 10 rockets after this, and one after another was, alarm that went on. What I feel, I tell you what I feel. It is not pleasant. This is wrong. Okay, not pleasant for anybody. I didn't this, but I tell you what, I don't feel about myself. I feel only about our children, our little children, because they didn't do nothing to anybody. Children are innocent. But if we need to get these rockets, but we need to get these rockets, but we need to win. Don't only take the rockets. We need to end this thing.
במהלך הבוקר נשמעו אזעקות פה באזור, ירדנו למקלט, אני והתינוק ואשתי, שמענו בום אחרי מספר דקות, בום שאתה יודע שזה נפילה, אני גר 100 מטר מכאן, הבת שלי גם ניזוק, רצתי בלי נעליים, בלי חולצה, רק עם מכנס, רצתי פה לבית הזה, ככה שהכל פה עוד עולה באש, לנסות למצוא לראות אם יש אנשים, אני וכמה חבר'ה פה התאספנו עם מטפים, ניסינו להשתלט על השרפה, לא הצלחנו, זה האמת מפתיע, זה נפילה שהקפיצה פה את כל השכונה אני חושב, יש לי ילד בן 9 חודשים, אז בכלל היה לי פחד על הילד יותר.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm just gonna give my final closing comment, and I'm just behooved, really. I have seen horrid pictures of bodies that's being blown apart, half of it gone, and they putting that upper part with the chest. The person's head is just blown completely open, and the jaw just hanging out, teeth showing. Man, look, that's somebody's son, man. That's somebody's uncle or somebody's grandson or somebody's cousin. You know what I mean? And what's really fucking irritating, is the fact that Lebanon, Iraq, Yemen, you name it. You saw in the video talking about 2 million Israelis. Man, kill them all. Why are you waiting? Launch, soften the enemy up, and then put boots on the fucking ground. And when you see these motherfucking settlers with their rifle and shit, they try to drop it. Say, I'm not. I'm sorry. No, motherfucker, you are guilty of war crimes. All you motherfuckers that are 18 and over are guilty of war crimes, whether you voiced it or not, whether you participated or not, and you participated. 18 and over, you were part of the IDF. So you harbor sentiment in that direction of dominance, of white superiority, and the whole nine that goes with it. I don't know why Netanyahu and his gang of wannabe tough guys are still living. They just killed Nasrallah. They just killed a lot of the top leaders of the resistance. Why are you not on the fucking ground in Israel, just mowing them down as you go? They are the Amaleks. Every man, woman, and child, but not the animal, not the tree. It's time. It's not a motherfucking game. These people are not playing. White folks don't give a fuck, as you heard in the video of the white guy. They don't give a fuck. Really don't. So, with that being said, let me see what's really going on. I wanted to show up, give you guys a little briefing here of my book. This is book 2, The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit 2, Understanding White Supremacy, and it's nothing but a game. All right. And let me see, let me get to the other one. And this is book 1. It's about 1,000 pages, more or less. The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. And it deals with the overarching question that run through the minds of black folk. Why do white people hate us so much? And I really delve into that reason why. All right. Now, this is white folk guy. Hold on a minute. You don't have one. Please, ancestors, I need your guidance. Ooga booga. They're the stupid motherfuckers. They just good at what did the sister say? They're good. They're masters of projection. That's it. And once you pull back the curtain and you begin to see who they really are, they're a bunch of bitch ass motherfucking troglodyte niggas, the worst fucking niggas on the planet. Now here you have Abraham Lincoln, who was a black guy, freeing white people as well as the black people. The only slaves in America were white. They weren't. We were prisoners of war. Prisoners of war. Let me see. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too far. And so let's wrap it up. And I'm going to give you my outro. And I'll be right back. All right, that's a wrap, guys. If you love what you saw, you like the podcast, please support it. You can go to. Let me bring that up. Okay, that's not the one. I'm gonna have to get better at this and making sure it runs more smoothly, but you know how it goes. Hold on. The banners, okay. If you like the show, please support it. You can go to patreon.com/WMB333. What else? The White Man's Burden is on Amazon. The White Man's Burden of Lies and Deceit. About $20 for each one. The second one is a little bit cheaper, about $18 or something like that. And let's see. Going down. Got the next contestant on the Price is Right. Oh, okay. So that's a wrap, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. And Brother Muhammad, if you are watching, I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be on. And always remember, keep it right, keep it tight, and stay black. Peace.